Hey there, Riverica here, reporting for duty on a trigger. Thank you for shuffling states of emergency into adoption spirit with me and steering clear of danger. Heartily, we are grateful. In this session, we are seeing what Mercury in Capricorn trining Uranus in Taurus at 15 degrees has to say to us and how to move forward in our highest love and light. And before I begin, some disclaimers. While I am a fortune teller, what I share does not determine your future. Only your intentions and actions do. So please use your gift of discernment before deciding what to gather and take away. And of course, only take what resonates and blow like a kiss back to the universe for cosmic composting what doesn't. And I have some helpers here today, as you can see. I have lit candles for Source, for Mother Earth, Father Sky, the homeless, those that kick them out of their homes, the neighbors, the passers-by, even those working against our spiritual progression. I have also lit candles for harmony, unity, and balance, Archangel Michael, the Archangel of Sunday, our ancestors here in the highest love and light, and those who have crossed over to Father Sky by suicide, and the family and friends they left behind, as well as the war-torn families, countries, and galaxies. And we thank Source for helping us all adopt success with peace and joy. Heartily, we are grateful. I also have my mini crystal ball and my wooden dice and my wooden dagger wand and my wooden wand. That wood helps buoy our spirits. And we have some rose quartz, some garnet, a twin quartz crystal, some amethyst, some green calcite, some labradorite. We have our Tibetan bell kit. And before we get in too much farther, I want to burn some sage and clear the space and also ring the bell. So thank you so much for hanging out with me for that. And I so appreciate you all showing up and doing your dues. It's hardy work that you do. And so we're clearing the space and surrounding ourselves with the white light of protection of that source energy, and holding that intention to see love, and only love we shall see. Thank you so much. And please be aware that I am going to ring the Tibetan bell, so there's going to be a noise, so please adjust your earphones. Here we go. Mind, body, speech, and perfect oneness, I send my heart along with the sound of the bell. May hearers awaken from forgetfulness and transcend all anxiety and sorrow. Om. Peace. Shanti. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much, Source and Spirit team, for guiding this reading in the highest love and light about what Mercury in Capricorn trining Uranus and Taurus at 15 degrees has to tell us. Ooh, it fell off the table. I have to roll again. Oh, you know why? Because it wants me to introduce these crystals. So before we dive into the roll, the crystals want to be seen and heard. And I invite you to look up 4 or 5 or 6 different sites so you can see for yourself what resonates with you about each different crystal. This is rose quartz associated with your heart chakra. And this pyramid is quite a transformer. It helps lift us up. And that heart chakra, there's a symbol of a star associated with it. And part of the star is a triangle going up, and another part of the star is a triangle going down. So that indicates we always have a choice with our heart, with whatever happens on this wild ride here on planet Earth. Do we let our hearts go down, or do we let our hearts go up? And this is the Paragrams by Paramahansa Yogananda. And he established the Self-Realization Fellowship. Maybe some of you have read his autobiography of a yogi. And I'll leave information for all of these cards and crystals in the description. And we have the Tree Angel Oracle deck, the second deck there that I pulled this garnet off of. The Tree Angel Oracle deck, The Ancient Path into the Sacred Grove by Fred Hageneder and illustrated by An Heng. And this garnet, so sweet, and it helps ground us. It's associated with your Muladhara chakra, your first chakra, your root. It's sort of at the bottom of your spine. But of course, quadruple check me and maybe look at some diagrams so you can have a clearer idea about that. Muladhara chakra, your root chakra. And your heart chakra is your Anahata chakra, the one that this rose quartz is associated with. And then we have the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle by Lon, and some beautiful crystal quartz, a twin quartz. And this is wonderful for assisting us in working through our mother issues. We all have mothers. Some of us have more than others. Like the orphans and adoptees, they have their birth mother. We have our birth mother. Some of us have our foster mother. Some of us have an adoptive mother. Some of us have pseudo mothers. Some of us have decided to mother ourselves. And so this beautiful crystal may help guide you in that endeavor. And it also helps with your intuition and your clear seeing, your clairvoyance. And then we have the Cosmic Dancer Oracle by Sedona Soulfire and Tess Whitehurst, and this amethyst. It's a wonderful healing stone. Many people who channel healing adore the stone, myself included. Thank you. And then we also have the Kali Oracle deck by Alana Fairchild, and this green calcite, which is also associated with the heart chakra. And this one is talking to me about forgiveness in this session right now as I hold it and see it with you. Thank you. And then we have the Living Altar, an oracle and spell deck for the Radical Witch by Kiki Robinson and Ilva Droma Radzisuski. And we have this labradite to accompany that deck. And this labradite, you can see it looks like Aurora Borealis. It's dark, it's light, it's shimmery. And I read somewhere that soldiers, I think during World War I, found it, uncovered it, somewhere between Russia and Finland. And of course, the borders have changed and the names have changed so much in the modern era. So quadruple check me. And you can leave comments, share what you know. We'd love to hear different perspectives. And this stone is wonderful for transformation. So, all right, let's try again. So thank you, Source Spirit Team, for guiding this reading in the highest love and light, what Mercury in Capricorn has to say about trying Uranus in Taurus at 15 degrees. And we have deck number 3. 1, 2, 3. And so we're going to hear from Lon. And you know, Mercury, maybe you don't know, maybe you know, Mercury is the planet about communication. And Uranus is its higher octave. So that's super interesting. And Uranus can be quite rebellious. And so I invite you to look up Mercury and look up Uranus on your own to see more about those planets and what they offer us to help us through these times, and also Capricorn and Taurus. I do believe those are both earth signs. So we could be learning about grounding in. Grounding in. So we're going to put that right there. And let's see what happens. You are a full, loving, powerful, spiritual being, and so am I. We thank Source and your spirit team, your angels, and your galaxy guides, your ancestors, your saints and sages, your gods and goddesses, your universes here in the highest light, as well as mine. Thank you, your source, and thank my source for guiding this reading in the highest loving light to understand what Mercury has to tell us about Uranus right now, how to help us move forward in the highest loving light. Thank you so much. Heartily, we are grateful. Oh, there we go. And we have integration on the bottom. It looks like the Kali Yantra. Super sweet. You can look up the Kali Yantra on your own, and you can see this is the number 30. 3 plus 0 breaks down to a 3, and that 3 is a number of optimism, and it brings a beginning and an end together. It ends chaos. It's also helpful for those that are susceptible to psychic and environmental invasions. Super sweet. And you can see here, this card says, the frequency of integration supports our embrace of every aspect of ourselves, allowing what we perceive as positive and what we perceive as negative to harmonize in a balanced symphony of life. Well, that's super sweet and relevant as we're talking about Mercury being the lower octave and Uranus being the higher octave, and what it takes to integrate all of that and to move forward in the highest love and light. That's super sweet. So, and then we also have authority, number 10. And that number 1 invokes the Creator. It brings your needs to a conclusion and puts yourself first. And this number 1 helps with the victim issues that cause us to put others first or take on others' energies. And the number 10 can establish heaven on earth. And also is showing the end of a cycle. That's super sweet. These are beautiful colors and a beautiful pattern. So the frequency of authority reminds us that true authority is powerful, directed, and realized, yet receptive, wise, and loving. Super sweet. I'm going to put this down so I can read a little bit more about what Lon has to share for authority. I'm thinking about Mercury and Uranus and the communication that goes on and how to express yourself with authority. This number one, it helps boost your intentions and the energy in a new direction. It's also a symbol of starting over, starting over. So perhaps moving from the lower octave to the higher octave is what you're striving for right now. And you need some support. And so hopefully with any luck, what could I say instead of luck? I could just say that maybe this is helping you start in your new direction and step into your power, into your higher power, and come from that healed space as opposed to the wounded space. So the word authority has mostly been used to describe the powers that rule, govern, lead, direct, control, and protect. It has also been closely associated with the powers that dominate, suppress, enforce, demand, and scare us. Authority is about power. True authority is generated by maturity, knowledge, wisdom, experience, and inner balance. This kind of power comes from within, where it is deeply rooted in a solid connection to Source. Externally, this power expresses itself as presence, the ability to be completely in the moment, with full awareness of every aspect of oneself, all senses fully engaged, while being completely centered in the heart. Internally, this power steps back to witness, allowing us to perceive and discern without attachment. From all this, a new form of authority arises, one that leads, shares, directs, and conducts with benevolence, grace, compassion, wisdom, and integrity. This kind of authority inspires trust, creation, collaboration, and partnership. It is receptive in nature and expresses the journey inward, where connection with self and Source become one. Green represents the energy that abundantly flows from the heart. Turquoise represents the high heart chakra, sometimes referred to as the thymus chakra, the place where the heart and throat energies merge into loving expressions of truth. Gold and yellow represent abundance, truth, enlightenment, and self-realization. In numerology, 3 is considered a catalytic number. I had a feeling that might happen, but look, we can still see. My battery went out and I forgot to bring up a new one. Please forgive me. So 3 is considered a catalytic number. I'm not pronouncing that right, I don't think. C-A-T-A-L-Y-T-I-C. Catalytic number. In numerology, 3 is considered a catalytic number. It stands for an energy that speeds up or creates a reaction between two unrelated things without necessarily changing itself. And there are many 6s in this image. 6 is associated with harmony, love, and balance, as well as structure, design, and efficiency. Conceptually, circles stand for everything and nothing at all, balance and infinity, purity and freedom. Now Lon invites us to try this. Close your eyes and contemplate the concept of authority for a moment. How does the word make you feel? Do you consider yourself an authority in certain areas? Are you kind and wise in your guidance of other people? Are you coming from a place of wholeness and balance? Super sweet things to consider. And also interesting that it came up with this twin quartz that helps with our mother issues and mothers are in a position of authority, like, what? Because I'm the mom, and I said so. What I say goes, right? And sometimes that authority can seem rather hierarchical or tyrannical. And so Mercury is inviting us to consider with Uranus, how do we want to demonstrate our authority? Do we want to do it with dignity, equity, and tolerance? Or do we want to be that tyrant with such power and that ultimate authority? Right? Free will is real. And we have a choice to go up or down our heart chakra. We go back to our heart chakra and that star within. And there's one part of that star that's pointing down, and there's another that's pointing up. And what are you going to choose? So Mercury is asking us to consider these things. Super sweet. And then let's look at integration. Number 30. To wrap up this reading, the Sri Yantra that's called the Sri Yantra is an ancient symbol that literally means quote-unquote sacred instrument. It is formed by 9 interlocking triangles that form 43 smaller triangles in a grid that represents the entire cosmos. This complicated and precise geometry is thought to hold and create powerful energetic patterns, and has been used for thousands of years as a tool for meditation and devotion. The Sri Yantra also symbolizes the union between divine masculine and divine feminine, where the upward triangles represent the male, Shiva energies, and the downward, the female, Shakti energies. The center point, the Bindu, represents the junction between the physical universe and the source. The dark blues refer to the vast and deep universe as the origin from which everything springs into being. The yellows and golds refer to our inner power and the way we express ourselves on this earth in a physical body. Red is the color associated with the first chakra, the physical plane, and everything form-based. The light blue triangles represent the balance between the masculine and the feminine. The swirling circles in the background are the other dimensions and star systems. Can you see them? They're so faint. The swirling circles in the background are other dimensions and star systems beyond this earth that are at our origin. Oh, there's one. Or is that just the light glimmering off? I'm looking to see if it pops out at me. The energy of integration supports our journey through a dualistic reality in which we continuously search for union and completion, both within and without. Its frequency reminds us that our manifested world can only be when every aspect has its opposite as well. Only when we integrate everything that comes to us, when we embrace every aspect of ourselves and of everyone and of everything around us, can we find an inner state of equilibrium. I need to turn the page. Now Lon invites us to try this. Take a deep breath and close your eyes for a moment. How do you integrate your inner world with your outer world? Does one reflect the other harmoniously? Or do you need to invest some loving care in some areas? Do you spend time contemplating your daily life and exploring how it is connected to your thoughts and emotions? Deep thoughts. Deep thoughts. Mercury is asking us to consider as it trines Uranus. And I really appreciate that this integration is bringing in the masculine and feminine, just reminding us more about that authority and some examples that we can all relate to. We all have a mother and a father, and so we can relate to that authority. And we've seen men and women in power leading nations, to leading companies, to leading communities as well. And we can consider how we want to move forward in the highest love and light, and how we want to wield our authority and step into our authority. And especially over the past couple years, we've been asked to really examine what's important to us and how to speak up for our needs, our safety, our soundness. And so Mercury trining Uranus is validating that, stepping into our power. So how are you integrating everything? How are you stepping into your authority? How are you using your divine masculine and divine feminine and bringing them together in a balance? It's super sweet. So that is what I see for you in this reading. Thank you so much for joining me in this session to help breathe life into adoption spirit magic. Heartily, we are grateful. Until next time, ciao for now. I love you all.